over 5 years ago, we were introduced to Finn, who was, of course, one of the main characters in The Force Awakens. And, say what you will about the sequel trilogy, I'd definitely say Finn's concept as a character, a stormtrooper joining the rebels, it's not really something that's been done before, at least not really in live action. But, of course, like everything else in the sequel trilogy, it was roadkill. It was killed along the way. It was hit by a car, and that car was Disney. Just kidding. But I'm going to say why Finn is definitely the biggest waste of a character I've seen. So, let's start. Quick note, if I sound like I'm in pain, that's because I have pins and needles. Anyway, say what you will about The Force Awakens, but I think, personally, Finn was the best character there. Now, everything was definitely in The Force Awakens. I have my issues with it. It's a good movie, but, the plot and Rey, they're not great. But Finn was definitely a diamond in the rough for the movie. A stormtrooper, realizing war is wrong, and as he finally breaks free of that, whatever they were using to control him, and he becomes part of the Rebel Alliance as he begins to, become good. I'm sorry, I don't have a script. I'm just going off, I don't know, my mind, which is dangerous. But he breaks free and he realizes this is wrong, and then he heads down to Jakku and runs into Rey. Of course, there's a bit coincidence as the Millennium Falcon's there, and then he gets picked up. And then later on in the movie, he's wielding a lightsaber. So it was definitely like they were setting up for him to become a Jedi. And honestly, I was completely fine with that. Finn as a stormtrooper going from a Jedi, how is this not already a thing? I mean, if we're being honest, clone commandos should be able to wield lightsabers because they're that badass. But I'm fine with a regular stormtrooper doing it. And then by the end of the movie, he's used this lightsaber, what? Not much. He's killed like 2 people with it. And he was fighting the stormtrooper earlier with that baton. And he was losing. He was going to lose. He was going to die. So now he has no idea how to use this lightsaber, but he picks it up anyway, and he charges at Kylo Ren with it. That for me is the highlight of The Force Awakens, where Finn just he's never used it before. It's incredible bravery, and he just goes to town on. That sounds gay. He just begins to fight Kylo Ren, and God, was it cool. Of course he loses. And then from there on we have Rey just all of a sudden know how to use a lightsaber. So, forget that. But when Finn uses a lightsaber against Kylo Ren, that was an awesome scene. So definitely in The Force Awakens, it was a great version of Finn. But then everything seems to go downhill after The Force Awakens. As the start and the end of The Force Awakens is also the start and the end of Finn's character arc. We get to Last Jedi. And Last Jedi is my least favourite Star Wars movie. I really, really hate it. And for some reason we have Finn and Rose go on a journey, as you know, to Canto Bight for more fuel. But in the end, I get really pissed off as the entire thing was pointless, and it seems like Finn just becomes the funny black guy. Like, why? Why did you take a character who is so heroic in his actions in the last movie? I don't even mind him being really excitable and That was the highlight of him. But this, he's just a complete and utter embarrassment. He and Rose go on this stupid Canto Bight scene with so many ridiculous points of all these weird aliens and a guard being beaten by money and this awkwardly placed animal lives matter basically moment. It's odd. I don't like it. And Rose then feels like she then lectures Finn about, what these people have done and why it's all bad. So she's telling a person who fought as a mind-controlled stormtrooper why war is bad. Okay, that makes sense. Obviously. And then at the end, obviously, he tries to be a hero. He's going in for a badass ending. But then Rose just comes out of nowhere, and I swear this woman's only role is to ruin every scene. It's... Okay, first of all, the Rose and Finn love story is terrible. You cannot convince me that this would have been better than Finn and Rey. They had good chemistry. Now, I definitely had a lot of issues. I really don't like Rey. But that would have been better than this. So, yeah, anyway, he saves her, they kiss, and they then eventually get out, because Rey lifts a bunch of rocks without training. Anyway, I need to stop reminding myself of that. They hop on the Millennium Falcon and whoosh, off they go, and that hell of a movie ends. That horrible, disgusting movie which I don't want to watch again. Then we move on to the final film in the trilogy, finally taken over by J.J. Abrams. And surely, someone who gave the man the character arc in the first movie would then try and make the character better again, as no one liked Finn in the last movie. But no, they do nothing with Finn. I'm not saying there's basically no character arc. There is no character arc. There's nothing there. He's just sort of there because he's a main character. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. I don't understand why they couldn't do anything else to Finn to make him just a little bit more depth. Anything. So basically he's just there. Nothing happens to him. So this fantastic character who was set up in Force Awakens, then slowly ruined in Last Jedi, and in Rise of Skywalker they give up on him. That is what a shitty way for a character to go out. Oh god. But anyway, throughout the movie he's like, Rey, I need to tell you something. He never does. Just there screaming her name, Rey, and Anyway, I was kind of hoping, I love you, but we can't get that good stuff. No, instead we got this. Yes, I've already done that last video. It shows you how little faith I have in my jokes. I'm not proud, but oh well. So yeah, that's why Finn is the biggest waste. We went through all the movies and only one he was developed in. And it's really disappointing his character ended like that. And how little they seemed to care about his character. It's really disappointing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, thank you. But I guess I'll see you all later. I'd just be sat here, just contemplating why the sequel trilogy had to end like that. But anyway, bye soldiers, I guess.